Latest updates on our weather impact alert for the day today. Not for snow, not for ice, but for windy conditions. If your power is out and you're one of the, several hundred, and at this point, even few thousand people across the Triad that do not have power, make sure you send us a message too. And if you have any down trees or on power lines, make sure you send those our way. We do have an alert due to the high winds and the cold air too. Gusts have been and will continue to be in that 35 to 50 mile per hour range over the next few hours before dying down later into this afternoon. High is going to be in the lower 30s, so not going to warm up all that much throughout the day today. So this alert is going to be throughout the day today. Charge those devices just in case of an outage in your location. And make sure you also bundle up too, because it is very, very chilly. So this started all last night from a cold front moving in and across the area, and that was what started the winds to pick up, and we've seen the winds pick up throughout the morning so far. Highs are only going to be in the lower 30s into this afternoon. So I look right now at the winter radar. We haven't been seeing much across the Triad. It's been nice and dry, but there were a couple of isolated flurries, especially along the border between here and Virginia earlier on this morning that were a pretty sight. Some people sent in some videos late last night too of that snow kind of continuing to come down. Not very impactful, not accumulating, but still very, very nice to see and pretty. Temperatures right now are in the low to mid 30s across the area. We're at 31 in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. Feels like temperatures in the teens for us right now, in lower 20s. Feels like 17 in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. Feels like 14 in Danville. Feels like 4 over in Jefferson. It feels like 2 in Boone. No doubt due to those winds and air temperatures only being in the lower 20s. So let's look at the wind gusts so far. Well, right now at 9 a.m., we're at 44 in Winston-Salem, 36 in Greensboro, 38 in Danville. A little bit more over toward Boone, higher miles per hour, 45, 30 in Jefferson, 37 in Wilkesboro. Max wind gusts that we've seen so far today, 46 in Greensboro and in Winston-Salem. So Forsyth County actually ended up matching Guilford's. 58 in Jefferson. Very, very windy throughout the day today before dying down later this afternoon. Power outages going to be pretty scattered, I would say. Just in the last couple of hours, we've been seeing more pop up. They're kind of like little pockets, of course, where you can have a tree fall down and hit a power line and then the neighborhood is affected. That's what I've been seeing. And I'm opening up Duke Energy now with you guys as we speak to kind of show you where these outages are currently located. If you can open this screen with me. So this is what I'm seeing right now. I'm showing you my screen. This is where I'm seeing most of the outages, and a lot of them, again, are pretty scattered, right? But there's a lot in a very tiny little spot. One of them's over toward Ruffin. This one was reported just after 8 a.m. The cause is unknown at this time, but it's safe to assume that the wind has a lot to do with these outages that we've been seeing. This is right off of Ruffin, right there toward Reedsville too. We've been seeing other outages in parts of Winston-Salem especially. Zooming out over there, we can kind of zoom in on this one. Over toward Kernersville, they've been seeing a lot too. This is right off of Bodenhamer Street too at around 621. Customers without power around 160, but that whole road right toward Kernersville looks to be having some problems, likely due to the wind too. And then as we move our way a little bit more toward the west, there's still a pretty decent amount also without power over in Wilkesboro, just north of Wilkesboro and toward Moravian Falls too. It's not just for us, zooming well out, it's also for much of the mountains too. Look at us compared to over here just toward the west of Hickory, toward Asheville, as well as over toward Morganton, Lake Lure. Well, there have thousands of power outages, likely from the amount of wind that they're seeing across the area. So it's been a windy one, and it'll continue to be windy as we head into this afternoon before those winds start really to die down. So we're going to dive a little bit more into that in a moment. I did want to talk more about what you can expect for the day today. Low to mid 30s at best. High winds, again, are going to be expected. Could see in the upper teens, lower 20s for feels like temperatures, so it's still going to be cold. It's all due to this cold front that's made its way across our area. High pressure building in afterward is going to be keeping us dry for today as well as into tomorrow for the most part. Futurecast into this afternoon. We're going to be seeing temperatures crash overnight into early on Sunday morning. Going to be in the teens. Likely going to be feeling like very, very cold. Single digits possible into early on Sunday. Maybe even an isolated flurry heading into Sunday afternoon and evening with this upper level system. It would be very brief, not impactful, but just wanting to give you the early heads up in case you do see it. So we do have 2 alerts, wind alerts, in effect for our area. For the majority of us, we're in that wind advisory. What does that mean? Well, that's whenever winds can start to kind of impact you, right? Gusty winds will start to blow around unsecured objects. Tree limbs can be broken down, and we've seen that, and a few power outages can happen as a result. So winds this strong can also make driving difficult too, especially for high-profile vehicles. A high wind warning, however, that's when you want to avoid being outside near trees. You want to watch for debris or tree limbs, remain in the lower levels of your home during the wind, and avoid windows and overhanging trees. That's when you can see winds in excess of around 50 to 55 miles per hour. So a high wind warning is one step worse than the wind advisory. So they're both worth taking serious, though. We will see these winds start to die down heading into this afternoon and into the evening, going from the 30s and 40s back down into the 20s Saturday night, and eventually really starting to die down as we head into Sunday morning, which is very good news. But there are going to be some isolated power outages with this, so please be aware of that, and please be mindful of that too. Go ahead and charge up your devices just in case. Again, it's going to be isolated. They're not really going to be tons and tons and tons of outages. It's just going to be where the trees fall and hit the power lines, and you might be in that neighborhood. So just be prepared for that. These advisories are going to go through around 7 o'clock tonight. The good news is, if you're looking for warmth, and for calmer weather, it is on the way. We are going to be seeing temperatures start to ride back into the 30s, 40s, 50s, and even the lower 60s will return by the middle of next week. Reminder, high winds going to continue for the next few hours through the early afternoon, die down tonight. Sunday, going to be drier with the afternoon, or going to be less windy, I should say. Still going to be dry. We're going to be in the lower 30s. 40s are back by the time we step into Monday. Lower 60s. I will take it. We haven't had it in weeks. That's going to feel so great, especially after near 3-degree temperatures. Remember that just like a week ago. Rain chances also going to be returning, much needed as we step into Thursday and Friday. A bit cooler too in the upper 40s and 50s. Stay with us. We'll continue to provide you updates on the forecast with those wind gusts and potential more power outages. Send us your latest updates from home and any power lines that you see that could be down or trees falling. We'd love to get your updates.